Hello, good morning. It's me, Viv, and welcome to, I think, day 14. Made it! Yay! So it's been 2 weeks now that I've started this daily chronicles, and it's been 2 weeks since the lockdown in Malaysia, lockdown 2.0, MCO, movement control order, and we're supposed to end today. Within those 2 weeks, we've had an extension up till the 4th of February. Within those 2 weeks, we've had twice the highest number of newly infected cases in Malaysia. We hit 4K and above. And also within those 2 weeks, I found out that there were 2 positive cases in my neighbourhood. So, what a trip. It's been an eventful 2 weeks for everyone, or maybe for me, just for me. It's a bit hard to want the lockdown to end because you want to feel like you're doing something to keep Malaysia safe and its people. But at the same time, of course, it involves economy. It involves a lot of other things, like it's going to be Thaipusam tomorrow. And a lot of the Hindu devotees cannot celebrate Thaipusam because if you've ever been to Malaysia and seen how Thaipusam is celebrated, it's a joyful, colorful experience, full of life, music, vigor, and people are back to back, so it would have been a huge cluster. I don't know how people are taking it. I myself am not Hindu, but I've not talked to any Hindu friends about it actually. But there's also something positive out of this 2-week mark. It's 2 weeks since I've been doing this, a milestone, and that's hard for me. Why I chose to do this is because I wanted to push myself to do something new and keep at it. And as long as the lockdown is continuing, I'm going to continue doing this. But there's some people who've asked me to carry on doing these daily chronicles even after the lockdown. So we'll see. Every day is a challenge, to be honest. But a challenge I'll take on. But that's just one milestone. I've got a few more. So my second milestone is, since the lockdown, I've also started being vegan again. Many moons ago, I was vegan for at least 6 months when I was working for myself. And it was easy then because if you stay at home, you work for yourself. You can always come back home for lunch. And no one's dictating or no one's influencing you to not be vegan. That's the hardest part actually. Anyway, I've been vegan for 2 weeks. Well, actually, off and on vegan. Once in a while, I'm vegetarian, meaning the only thing I fail on or in is having eggs. I love a good omelette, and that started off with my mom making omelettes when we were kids. Hers was amazing, but hers are amazing, but vegan means not having eggs as well, and that was the hardest challenge. But I think I've had eggs 2-3 times during this past 2 weeks, so I'm vegan-ish. Those were also the hardest things to let go of the last time around I tried being vegan. I managed making tofu scrambled eggs, and they were really good, and I think I'm going to make them for breakfast today. It's a bit more hard work instead of cracking an egg and scrambling it. It's having a softer tofu, soaking it in some sort of flavor, umami, and then Cuba, and then putting cumin. I think it's cumin. the Titanic just passed by. I think it's cumin, and then to get that yellow color, and then stir fry it. Then it's scrambled tofu eggs. Other than that, I've been good with. I don't really care so much for cheese. There are times when I do like it. It has to be really good stuff, but I don't care for it. And milk I never really liked, so I drink mostly coconut or oat milk, which has been a staple for me for years and years now. So there's no issues there. And the cafes in Malaysia now, most of them carry at least soy. So there's an alternative. Plus we're in lockdown, so who's going out? I'm not. Are you? Are you? You're not. The other challenge about being vegan, some people say, do you also go as detailed as not using feathered bedding and leather? And my answer to that is yeah, I actually don't care for it, because I grew up in a not so fancy family where we would have never have gone out to buy any bedding with goose feathers and stuff like that. In fact, if you ask me, if anyone told me that bedding had goose feathers in it, I'd cringe, because like, seriously guys, ew. And I mean, do you really need to take another being's body parts to keep yourself warm in this age and time when there's a million alternatives? Come on, there's no excuse. Come on, man. Hashtag Joe Biden. And leather is something I never had an affinity for. Of course it came, the trick is it comes in some bags and shoes, and as a small part of it. So I don't go out there to buy leather bags or leather shoes, but sometimes they come in as a buckle or satchel, in a satchel, stuff like that. And that's when I do my homework and I research properly before making a purchase that this is not any kind of animal leather. And even the PU leather, sometimes if you read up a bit more, they are mixed with animal leather. So I try and stay away from it, which is fine, because I don't particularly buy a lot of shoes or bags anyways. And during the time when I was vegan, the first round, I did a lot of research, and I found out that without the leather industry, most of us would probably not be able to afford meat. It's the leather industry that is supporting the meat industry, because without the sales of the skin of the animals, meat will not be as affordable as it is now. Yes, it's still expensive for some, but it would be even more exorbitant. Every part of the animal is used, which to me is, hi Cuba, that's Cuba, or QB. It's been my producer for some time now. But anyway, yeah, back to leather. That's a no-no. So yeah, I've been vegan-ish for the past 2 weeks. Yay! I intend to try and continue to do this. Chinese New Year is coming up, and the challenge is I love bakwa. So I'm looking on the lookout for vegan bakwa. I've had it before; it's really good, and I'm going to search the interwebs to make a couple of purchases, just to crave the palate. And lastly, I've also started doing intermittent fasting a day after the lockdown. So it's 13 days on. Tomorrow will be my 14th day. It will be 2 weeks. And yay, I've lasted this long. I've always wanted to try intermittent fasting. I think I tried it a couple of times ago and just failed. Why am I doing it? I don't know. I was on a tangent of doing good practices. Questionable, may not be good for some. And I thought I'd give this a go since we're all locked down. And I would also tend to stay up late and eat junk. Trust me, I still binge on junk, but within the eating hours. But yeah, the tendency to stay up late, sleep late, do whatever like we did the last lockdown is high, and I've learned from it. So I thought having intermittent fasting as one more rule of thumb would keep me in line to go to bed if you're hungry, dude. Drink a bit more water if you're hungry. You're probably just dehydrated. And yeah, I'm really proud of myself that I've done that. Of course, the best way to have effects with intermittent fasting is 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating, a window of eating. You don't eat for 8 hours straight, although you can. I'm hoping I think I can. But yeah, so doing that, I didn't want to jump on that bandwagon immediately because the tendency to fall off it would be higher. So I tried 12. The first week I did 12 hours of eating and 12 hours of fasting, and it worked out. And this week I've gone above 12. I've done 13 hours and above, and I think there's been a few days that I've hit 14 hours, and there was one day that I actually hit 16 plus hours, and I wasn't really particularly that hungry, because I think after some time you get into a zone where you're not that hungry anymore. You're allowed to drink black coffee and black tea and black cocoa, and that's what I do sometimes. So I've got a cup of black cocoa with me. This is like this is the cocoa without any milk or anything. I don't know if you can see it, without me tipping it. There you go. No milk, no sugar, nothing. This is the cocoa you use to make cakes. So yeah, I'm happy that I've done this. I've got 3 milestones under my belt. I don't wear belts, but I've got 3 milestones under it, and yeah, I hope I can continue on. I was telling this habit coach earlier this week that I have this tendency of failing when I tell an accountability partner or anyone that I'm doing this, I'm testing out this habit. I don't know why in particular, but part of me thinks I don't want to hear anybody else's opinion about it. I don't want to hear their methods about it. I just want to do what I want to do, because having come to a point where I wanted to do intermittent fasting or be vegan or do a daily vlog would have taken me a lot of time thinking about it, making a decision, and then just doing it, right? I've got this much of work done, and then if I start listening to other people, this much of work is going to become insignificant to me. So sometimes, unless it's someone I really, really, really trust, and that's not a lot of people. No, please don't get offended. When I say trust, I mean who really just accept me as I am, because I have faults and I fail very easily. But yeah, so I guess I don't want unsolicited advice. I don't mind accountability, but I don't want unsolicited advice. Oh my god, it's gone on to 14 minutes now. I'm so sorry. Yesterday was very short, today's a bit long. Deal with it. So yeah, now I'm telling you guys, so I'm playing with fire. So wish me luck, and I don't want to hear. Or you can ask me questions about how I got in this far, but I don't want to hear your opinion. No, I'm kidding. Just shoot, I'll be fine. Yeah, so 3 milestones. I'll see if I can do something special for the vlog tomorrow, since it'll be my 15th session. As always, I hope this has been some form of entertainment or takeaway. Stay safe, mask up, keep a distance from each other, but stay connected. This is Viv signing off from a vivid world, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.